When Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022, something predictable happened in financial markets. Defense industry stocks surged. Lockheed Martin shares jumped 28% in the weeks following the invasion, while the broader market fell. This pattern reveals a profound tension in modern economics. How war, despite its devastating human cost, creates what economists call perverse market incentives. The defense industry, worth roughly $850 billion globally, according to Stockholm International Peace Research Institute estimates, represents a stark example of how public funding shapes markets. Your retirement portfolio, whether you realize it or not, likely includes exposure to the defense sector through index funds and pension investments. This raises crucial questions about the relationship between public investment, private profit, and ethical investing in an age of geopolitical tension. The mechanism is straightforward, but troubling. When conflicts escalate, governments increase defense spending, which flows to private contractors. These companies, often benefiting from decades of public research funding and guaranteed government contracts, see their valuations rise. The pattern repeated after 9/11 during the Iraq War, and we're seeing it again with NATO countries pledging increased military budgets in response to recent conflicts. But the economic impact extends far beyond defense stocks. Military spending has a multiplier effect across the economy. When governments direct resources to defense, it often means less investment in other areas like healthcare, education, or clean energy, what economists call opportunity costs. This reshaping of public investment priorities affects everything from job markets to innovation patterns. Consider the technology in your smartphone. GPS, internet protocols, and touchscreens all emerged from defense-related research. This illustrates how military spending creates technological spillovers that eventually reach civilian markets. But it also raises questions about whether these innovations could have been achieved through direct civilian research investment instead. For you as an investor, this creates a complex decision matrix. Defense stocks have historically provided steady returns due to guaranteed government contracts and high barriers to entry. But they also expose the myth that private sector innovation happens in isolation from public funding. These companies depend heavily on taxpayer-funded research and procurement. If you're concerned about ethical investing, consider this. Some European investment funds now classify defense companies as sustainable investments, arguing they contribute to national security and democratic stability. Others maintain that profiting from conflict contradicts ESG, environmental, social, and governance principles. Here's what you can do. First, examine your existing portfolio's defense exposure through your fund holdings. Many popular ETFs include significant defense industry weightings. Second, consider whether this aligns with your investment principles. There are now specialized ETFs that explicitly exclude weapons manufacturers if you wish to avoid the sector. Third, understand that divestment isn't the only option. Some investors choose to maintain defense holdings while engaging in shareholder activism to influence corporate behaviors. Others offset defense exposure by increasing investment in peace-building initiatives or diplomatic organizations. Remember that markets don't operate in a vacuum. They're shaped by public policy choices and investment decisions. The defense industry's success isn't purely a product of free market forces, but rather of specific policy choices about public spending and research investment. The figures and trends discussed here reflect publicly available data and historical patterns, but markets can behave unpredictably during geopolitical crises. This analysis is meant to educate, not advise. Always consult a qualified financial professional for personalized investment decisions that align with both your financial goals and ethical principles.